to some more streaming stuff, and we're going to talk about The Studio on Apple TV Plus. And Sean, I know that nowadays you are mostly a Prime Video and YouTube guy, but
Yes.
if you could get to watch this, I think you
What
would.
streaming platform is it on?
Apple TV Plus.
Apple TV Plus, right? Okay.
Yeah, I think you would love this because
Right.
the whole idea behind this is that the show starts off and it starts off and you meet Seth Rogen, and Seth Rogen, he's on a film set because he's a film executive for a movie studio called Continental Studios. I mean,
Right.
even and one of the things you love, Sean, even the titles for this are done like an old school, like, RKO studio thing from the '70s and everything. And he's this studio executive who just loves movies, and he enjoys being part of them and all that. And at the beginning, they find out that the head of the studio is about to be sacked, and the head of the studio is going to be sacked because this conglomerate has taken over the studio and they said, you're not making enough money, you're making all these arty films and not making enough money. And so he's like, he wants to go up for the job. And then Bryan Cranston shows up as the guy who's the head of this studio, Griffin Mill. And he says, we want to make you
Griffin Hill, that's a great name.
Griffin. Yeah, it's actually, if you look up that name has been used in another film about Hollywood satire kind of thing, and they did that on purpose. They did it on purpose, and it's like, and so he shows up and he's kind of like, "Are you my guy? Are you my guy?" And this guy wants the job because he just loves him. He's like, "Yeah, of course I'm your guy. Of course I'm your guy." And so he takes over the studio, and then everything that comes up in the next, I think it's 10 episodes. It's essentially all about trying to make films and trying to say, I want to make a good film. I want to make the next Godfather. But no, the money people say you've got to make the Kool-Aid movie. and this, the way this is shot, right? This show is shot, and every shot in it is like a long take. So I think the average length of a shot in this show, is probably about 5 minutes. And it's so well done because the first shot is like you see them, they get off from a film set, get into a golf cart, drive from one area of the studio to another area of the studio, and after a while you're like, hang on a second, they haven't cut. You just realize they haven't cut. So it's very artistically done the way they put it all together, and they have all these different episodes. There's one episode that's essentially they keep talking about the film that they're making at the studio, at the fictional studio, the film that they're making. They say it's just a ripoff of Chinatown, and the episode itself is kind of like a ripoff of Chinatown, like the way it's done.
Wow.
The episode itself is like a ripoff of Chinatown. There's an episode called The Oneer, and it's all about them. It's about a director trying to get a one shot, so trying to get like this one shot thing. But the episode itself is shot as a oneer, so that this whole episode, 30 minutes, there's no cuts in the entire thing. And I'm not sure if you ever watched Frasier or liked Frasier, but
I mean, I was aware of it, but I was never really one to
yeah.
watch it.
And Frasier had different modes. So Frasier, you were talking about the roses earlier. We're talking about how it's all about the language and everything like that. And there's bits in Frasier where it's all about the language. But then you have episodes of Frasier where it's all about this situation. It's just a farce. It's like your classic British farce where things just keep building and building and building. And then, somebody puts something down at the beginning of the episode and you're like, oh my God, that's going to come back. That is going to come back and that's going to mean something. That thing is going to mean something. But then you forget about the thing that they put down and then it comes back and it does mean something. And you're like, oh my God, yeah. And there's so many episodes in this where things just keep building and building and you're like, oh my God, they can't go anymore. And then they have all these, because it's set in Hollywood, they have all these cameos from like A-list people. Like,
Wow.
for let me put it this way, Martin Scorsese plays himself.
Wow.
Martin Scorsese shows up in the first episode playing himself. There's a very, very funny, heartbreaking bit where they make Martin Scorsese cry. It's like, I mean, if you look at the people, they have Dave Franco. Dave Franco shows up and everybody is playing weird, massive, crazy bits of the versions of themselves. There's a bit where they go to the Golden Globes episode. Oh my God. They go to the Golden Globes. So yeah, and this whole thing, if you love movies, this is good. If you don't really like movies, it's still a very good workplace comedy. But it is, I mean, we just had the Emmy Awards, and this thing won a whole bunch of awards because
That does sound good.
it is very good. And because I think they could just have made like a knockabout comedy because, hey, it's Seth Rogen, and Seth Rogen is like, he made his name making all these sort of like slacker comedies where it wasn't really about how it was shot or anything like that. But you watch this and you realize they have put a lot of time and effort and thought into how this is filmed and what they're referencing. And it's the kind of show that, Sean, you would watch and you would see a whole bunch of references to a whole bunch of 70s movies that I do not
You're
notice.
You're tempting me.
No, but honestly, the studio, it's a very high four. It's a very high four.
Cool.
It is really close to a 5, and I would, it's a very.
I shall take that on advice then. I shall take that on advice.
Yeah, if you know anybody who has an Apple TV Plus, go around and watch it. Go around and give yourself, because they only half an hour as well. So it's only.
Oh, that's
so
good. Actually, that's pretty good, that, because you can get a couple in, 2 or 3 in, can't you?
Yeah. They're only half an hour, but I would say it's really, really good about the way Hollywood actually works. And like, there's a line where the guy says something like, he's like, I got this job because I love movies, but now I feel like my job is to ruin them. And there's an episode with Ron Howard. The Ron Howard episode.
What, Richie? Oh, Richie Cunningham, yeah?
Richie, yeah. And the whole thing about it is that there's an episode with Ron Howard, and everybody is terrified of Ron Howard because they feel like, everyone thinks, oh, Ron Howard, nicest guy in Hollywood, but they go, no, actually, he's actually very mean. He's actually a very mean, horrible person.
I like it when that happens.
Yeah, and the whole idea with that episode is that he's made this film, and there's something in this film that everybody thinks this is bad, but nobody can bring up the courage to tell him that it's bad, and they need to get rid of it. But yeah, anyway, I would recommend The Studio. The Studio is very good. And now let's go to